Jimin, you know my friends, but you don't know me? We, the members of the Velvet. What? Wyan whispers. You looked at the members and then quickly turned toward her men. You didn't tell me there were other people here. The guard beside her only stuttered, clearly caught off guard himself. Yu's expression darkened. She immediately raised her gun towards Jimin. You. Her finger moved towards the trigger. Before she could fire, a shot came from the other side. The bullet struck the gun in her hand, knocking it to the floor. Yu stumbled back in shock. She looked around. More men suddenly stepped forward from different parts of the hall. They were dressed differently from her guards, but they moved with complete confidence. Within seconds, the velvet guards had surrounded the entire area. Yu's expression changed. Vine and Yun stood frozen. Neither of them understood what was happening. What's going on here? Mr. Ru stared around the hall, completely stunned. His voice was barely above a whisper. The girls were just as shocked. Jenny, Leah, Mia, Emma, and Sophie slowly turned toward Jimin, Jin, Namjoon, Hosok, and Yoongi. They had seen these men every day at the university. They had watched them teach classes, joke with students, and act like ordinary lecturers. Jimin's playful smile was gone. Jin stood with a calm, serious expression. Namjoon carefully watched every move in the room. Hosok's usual cheerful personality had disappeared. Even Yoongi looked completely different from the quiet art lecturer they knew. The girls exchanged stunned glances. For the first time, they were seeing the people behind the identities they had known all these months. The room fell into complete chaos. Yu's guards were still trying to understand what had happened when several velvet guards moved in from behind. They grabbed the men who had been holding Jungkook and Taehyung and pulled their arms behind their backs. Across the hall, Yu's expression had completely changed. The confidence she had shown moments ago was beginning to disappear. Jimin stepped down from the stairs. Well, this is certainly more exciting than a normal day at university. Jin walked beside him. I was hoping we could solve this peacefully, but apparently nobody invited peace. Jimin chuckles. You say that like you weren't waiting for an excuse. Jin, I have no idea what you are talking about. Namjoon walked past them calmly. Enough talking, finish this quickly. A guard rushed toward him. Namjoon simply stepped aside, caught his arm, making the guard hiss in pain. Yoongi stood nearby, completely calm. Another guard charged at him. Yoongi moved just enough to avoid the attack before striking him and sending him backward. Too predictable. Meanwhile, Jimin found himself surrounded by two guards. He looked between them and sighed. Jimin, two against one? That's actually kind of rude. The first guard grins his teeth before throwing his fist. Jimin quickly dodged and pushed him aside before turning toward the second. Your turn. The second guard barely had time to react before Jimin knocked him off balance. Show off, Hosok said. Jimin, jealous? Hosok, very. The fight continued across the hall. The velvet guards quickly overwhelmed the remaining men, forcing them away from Mr. Ru and the girls. Within moments, the one chaotic hall became strangely quiet. Several of you men were left scattered around the room. Taehyung and Jungkook were still on their knees. One of the velvet guards quickly reached them and cut the ropes around their wrists. Jungkook immediately rubbed his wrist, his expression darkening as he looked at the red marks left by the ropes. Taehyung did the same, letting out a low, humorless chuckle. Jungkook slowly turned toward the guard who had been holding him. Without saying a word, he stood and landed a sharp punch across the man's face. The man stumbled backward. Taehyung adjusted his sleeve and glanced toward the members. You guys took your time. Jimin raised an eyebrow. Excuse me, we made a dramatic entrance. Hosok, very dramatic. Jungkook gave them an unimpressed look. Jungkook, you both are idiots, Jimin grinned, and yet you missed us. At the other side of the hall, Ryan and Yoon were still staring at them in disbelief. These weren't the lecturers they had known. They weren't ordinary bodyguards either. Taehyung turned towards you, who was just standing there and staring, watching her man groaning and hissing across the hall. Taehyung, it's too late now. Miss you. The hall slowly became quiet after the fight. The Velvet members stood together talking among themselves while their guards kept watch around the room. Mr. Rue guard were also there, someone holding their injured arm and shoulder as they tried to recover. Mr. Rue finally stepped forward. He looked at Jungkook and Taehyung, then at the other members. Mr. Rue, can someone tell me what is actually going on here? And who exactly are you? Jungkook and Taehyung exchanged a quick glance. Then both of them stepped forward and gave Mr. Roo a respectful bow. Taehyung, we apologize, Mr. Roo, but we were never ordinary bodyguards. Jungkook looked at him calmly. I'm sure you have heard of a group called the Velvet. Mr. Roo's eyes changed the moment he heard the name. How could I forget something I once worked in? Jungkook gave a small nod. Then you should understand why we couldn't tell you everything. We are part of the Velvet. We are Mr. John's sons, and these are the people we work with. He looked toward the other members. The girls stared at them in shock. They had known these men as bodyguards and university lecturers for months. None of them had expected this. Taehyung, we came here with a purpose. Our job was to find who was behind our uncle Minsok's murder. Mr. Roo, Minsok was killed? Taehyung nodded. Yes, he was our uncle. Our father believed you might have something to do with his death, so he sent us here to find the truth. Jungkook, we watched you. We checked everything we could. We followed every lead, and in the end, we found nothing that connected you to his death. Taehyung looked directly at Mr. Roo. That's when we knew you were innocent. Our mission was over, Jungkook, and that's why we were told to leave. Mr. Roo slowly looked between the two of them. So all this time, Taehyung, we were just doing our job.